Welcome to the Great Girlfriends podcast, where we discuss life, love, laughter, and everything in between. We're your hosts. I'm Sybil Amuti.
And I'm Brandis Daniel.
And before we jump into this week's episode of the podcast, make sure you sign up for our newsletter at
thegreatgirlfriends.com.
And don't forget to leave us an amazing iTunes review.
Yes, that is the payment for listening to this podcast.
I love it. 5 stars all the way. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
And we have an amazing guest girlfriend with us. Let's welcome Miss Marissa Nance to the show. Hey!
We're so excited to have you, Marissa.
I am very excited to be here.
Oh my goodness. Great
Marissa,
girlfriends. This is a treat.
Oh, total treat. And you just lit us up by blessing us with words of wisdom and love from your grandmother, who's joining us as a guest listener today, I would say, right?
Yes.
Yes. Well, somebody had to keep me honest here as I chatted with you all. And after 97 years, she knows how to do that with just about anybody, especially me.
I love it. And I love that she still volunteers with the elderly. Like, she just blew my mind. And I'm just like, there's so many more lives to give.
Yes.
Just when you think you've given, there's more.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Of yourself and for others.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which is so timely, right? I didn't even get a chance to ask about your weekend, Sybil and Marissa, because you just really led us into our conversation today. Great girlfriends, we wanted Marissa on because she is one of the most amazing women that we know. And as we're thinking about 2019 and how we want to walk into this year, one of the things that Sybil and I have been so super intentional about is making connections.
Absolutely.
Making connections, creating connections for other people, and making great quality connections, which we talked about several times. And I have watched Marissa. First of all, I was at a brunch on Saturday. And while I was at brunch, the person next to me, who is now a stylist, a full-time stylist because of Marissa, was talking to me about, her journey and just how hard life was beginning to be for her, and how she had moved to DC on faith, and she had been there 2 weeks and got a phone call from Marissa with an opportunity that changed her life.
Wow.
And I was sitting there listening to her, and I said, this is so crazy because your story sounds a lot like my story, where I was in such a hard place, and Marissa gave me a phone call that has changed my life. And so, Marissa, I don't think our stories are unique to us. I think this is just who you are as a person. Am I right?
I would say that I am intuitively a giver. And a lot of that comes from environment, right? So the way I was raised, you heard me just say my 97-year-old grandmother is still volunteering with the elderly, right? So it's always what you have is a blessing that you share and you don't take for granted. And so I make sure that I want others to feel that connective tissue that I love and that I'm hungry for, because I feel safest when I am in a place with people I respect, I love, I want to be with and around, and I want other people to feel that same way. So if I can give even a sliver of that safe space to someone else, I try to do it.
Wow.
That's powerful. What about giving for you is so essential?
I'd say there's a couple of things. I think on a personal level, as I just talked about how I was raised with my grandmother and how she taught us to be giving and think of others and not just think of yourself. But life is not just a bed of roses, and I've had some obstacles growing up where I learned how life, if you don't have that village and that community, how hard your life can really be. Mm-hmm. And having gone through some of that hardship, I made a lot of vows to say, I don't want anyone I care about or even remotely care about to ever feel the way I feel right now. And if that means bringing them into a fold and a warm embrace that is a community, then I want to do that, just because it's not a good feeling, and you don't want people you care about to feel that way. But additionally, professionally, as I've gone out, and both of you all have heard me joke about this, and I mean it, I always say my memoir will be entitled "The Only Chip in the Cookie," because I have so many times and in so many rooms been that only chip in the cookie. Mm-hmm. And I am truly hungry for other chips. Mm-hmm. And so when I can create that connection and that network and that community of we chips so that we can get together and create a cookie of our own, it just makes me sleep better at night.
I love that.
That's so good. Okay, I feel like we need to rewind.
Do we need to rewind?
I feel like we do.
Well, let's ask the question.
Yes.
Who is Marissa Nance?
Oh, Lord. Marissa Nance is inquisitive. She is loud and brazen. She is shy and quiet. She is tired a lot of the time. She's tired, but she's energized by faith and by friends and by family. Marissa Nance is looking for she's looking for that place where we all feel respected and where our reflection is respected in each of our own selves and outwardly to the people we're with. And I've been searching for that spot for these 50-some years, and I guess until I get to that place, I will continue searching for that spot. But it's like that safe zone that I'm looking for in community. And I think a lot of us as women of color are looking for that. We work so hard, we do so much, but wanting to then, have that moment to feel like we can stop, take that breath, and nobody's going to come and cut us from the side.
Right.
That's what we're looking for.
Marissa, I'm trying to hear everything, but you stopped me in my tracks at 57 years. How?
No, not 57. 50-some. 50.
Oh, 50-something. I was like, wait. Because you guys, Marissa is fine as wine.
Yes.
Face is clear and beautiful. Has a spirit of a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
Although I am going to start telling people I'm about 64, because then they're going to be like, girl, you look so good.
I love that. So professionally, Marissa, I know that you spent a number of years at a large corporation and played a large role in, I want to say, in the marketing and communications there. And you've recently not even pivoted, but you have built the first chip in the cookie, right? In this new cookie.
Yeah, I mean, and talking about it is one thing, doing it is something different. And I've spent just about 28 years working for one of the largest marketing holding companies, Omnicom. Mm-hmm. And I want to stop and say it's been nothing less than a blessing. Omnicom has been very, very supportive in many instances. I mean, not everything is perfect, but they have overall been an incredibly supportive company for me, and so much so that I am launching my own agency, Native Tongue Communications. We are a triple certified, a women certified, minority certified, small business certified company, and we're working in partnership now with Omnicom. So we're able to come in and really offer those insights and the tactics and strategy to really support our clients as they want to reach what is becoming a minority majority world that we all need to know how to speak in truly native tongues around.
I love that. Me and Sybil had a whole hand clap moment.
Yes,
for you.
we'll give it up again. Congratulations.
Okay, so we have a lot of our great girlfriends who have a similar story. Like, they love the companies that they work for. They've been working for their companies for a long time, and they're like, I think you found the way to say, I love the company that I work for, but I feel like I have something more to give but I can actually give that in partnership with this company I've given so much to through the years.
Yeah, I don't think it's a secret to anyone that we as a country and as groups of people are going through some trying times right now. And we don't want to become over politicized in this conversation, but it's happening. And so this opportunity is one of those extraordinarily and sadly rare occasions when everyone wins. First and foremost, our clients win. For an opportunity to still have the power and clout of an Omnicom billion-dollar corporation, but that laser-sharp insight that a smaller, more nimble, certified agency can allow and give to them as well is just a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It just does not exist. And for Omnicom to have a partner like me and for me to have a partner like Omnicom, just all of us are winning here. And I hope that our current clients continue to be happy with it, and I hope others see us and see the opportunity and want to come and join our community as a client.
I love it. What role, Marissa, does your great girlfriends play in your life? Because I got a chance to be around some of your great girlfriends. Everyone says the exact same thing about you, and I still want to dig into that connection piece a bit more because I guess what is I feel like I got like 3 questions in one. So let me back up. First of all, what role does your great girlfriends play in your life? The second question I have for you is, what does connecting other people, how has that blessed you?
Well, so first, my girlfriends. See, now you get me all emotional. My village is unstoppable. My tribe is the baddest ass. Can I say badass? Is the baddest assery that you would ever find. If we talk about Mary and we get a little badassery, they are incredible women and have been incredible from day one. I have some of my friends who I've been friends with since 4th grade. One of my girlfriends who's still in Cleveland, and I call her out because she's just so remarkable. She hasn't had the easiest of life at times. And she went on to she's a librarian. She's a head librarian because she wants our children to read. When's the last time you met a librarian?
Yeah.
And she said, our children need to read. Our children need to be learned, and they need to be reading the right stories, not the stories they're given. And so to be an arbiter of that and to be at the table and supporting those kids in those endeavors, that should be enough and could be. And then in the last 5 years, she decided, I want to be a yogi. And on her own and in her community in Cleveland, she has launched one of the first and few yoga studios of color in Cleveland.
Wow, that's awesome.
Just doing all of this as her second act, right? I'm working on a film now with Jennifer Lopez is in, second act, and it's touched me deeply, especially as I get to where I am in life and that second act, and I look around and I see my girlfriends. I see my 97-year-old grandmother having her third act. She is literally broaching. There's more than her third or fourth act. But seeing my girlfriends and the strength and the focus and the positivity and the tireless energy that they put forth, it's hard for me to come home and go, no. It is very hard for me to come home and go, no. Some people are inspired by chocolate. Some people are inspired by diamonds. Mm-hmm. I am inspired by my girlfriends, and they are the carrot that keeps me going.
I love that.
I love that. So beautiful.
So what do you think is the what's sort of the culture of your tribe? I hear giving as one of the pillars of your tribe, but what's another pillar of your tribe?
Well, we're crazy as a bag of crack. I
love that. You need crazy, right? Don't you need 5 ounces of crazy?
We are all so cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and I think that's what makes us so unique and so enjoyable and so energized, and it's what drives us.
Yeah.
I also look at us, and I talk about us generationally because we're of a generation of balance, right? So you're balancing being this perfect, AKA Delta, Lynx, Jack and Jill, wife, mom. You're balancing a corporate career where you must climb. There's not a question about it, right? You must climb and you're going to show everyone. And you're balancing, who you are and what you are. And it's that balancing act. And I know you all have talked about this in the past, and there's probably at least 20 more of these episodes around it. But I look at us generationally as that balancing act. And what's interesting to me is the next generation that I see now, they're mid-20s and 30s who are coming up, who are saying, you may have made a choice to balance. And it's like that Oprah aha moment, right? Mm-hmm. And they're right? That's a choice. I choose every day to try to balance all of that because that's what's driving me. Mm-hmm. But they're saying, I don't choose that drama for your mama, right? My choice is this, and I focus on this, and this is how I feel fulfilled and fullest. And so it's really, really interesting to me when I think about how my community sits and how we move forward, like you asked, Sybil. But I especially like to look in comparison to a younger generation and how they're so fulfilled and still moving forward. There's no gaps, there's no missteps, just in a very different kind of way. And that intrigues me. I think there's a big story there that someone needs to tell.
It's true. It's true. I think same DNA, but just different strategies, different approaches, right?
Yeah.
And different outcome. I mean, the same outcome, but just different approaches to the same outcome. And I think we start to see that, the more we were just having another conversation about that, how interconnected yet divided we can be. And if we don't take the time to actually humanize some of these relationships that we're creating on social media and some of the connections that we're making digitally, we still miss the idea that we literally just want to be able to touch and connect with other humans. That's what we want. That's what we all want. But our generation, Brandis and I, we come from the meet and greet referral, know a friend, refer a friend, and you're still kind of strange if you meet on social media world. And so like undoing some of that so that we can be connected to what social media and this digital age has to offer. It's been interesting.
Very interesting.
It's extraordinarily interesting. And what's even more interesting to me is as a marketer and an anthropologist, I consider myself an anthropologist because I truly dig deep into the community souls and minds of these people. And if you look at that, the next generation, there's a full circle moment where some of them are stepping back and divorcing from that social connection and saying, I want to touch someone.
Yeah.
I want to touch someone. I want to handhold. I want to be a part of the room. I don't want to give up that connection, that's social, but that doesn't mean I can't also do the following. And I'm really intrigued to see where they go on that path they're now on. Because it's, again, same end game, but a very, very different way of doing it.
Yeah. Marissa, your heartbeat is, I think, an essential piece to how you're able to give without restraint, to have it in your DNA and to have the expectation that when you give, it comes back to you. So I just saw a quote recently that someone said, you should give from the same hand in which you expect to receive. And it kind of implies that it gives you the courage to give with an abundance. And the same abundance you want to receive, you should expect to give. What do you think, as far as your DNA, the DNA of a giver, a connector, what do you think our great girlfriends could use as sort of like a toolkit for giving and connecting other women? Connecting people, not just women, but connecting people.
That's a great question. And I would say the first thing is to be a little fearless. Fear is what stops us from bridging with other people, creating these bridges and this connectivity. And it's founded. I will tell you, in 28, almost 30 years of my career thus far, some of my biggest heartbreak and disappointment has been because I automatically would walk in a room, see another woman of color, and assume best bud, support system. Yeah, we're going to do this together, and be cut down, be just devastated by not only their lack of connectivity, but they're putting up a wall. They're literally putting me down, not even, hey, I'm not going to help you up, but I'm also going to push you back down. And of course, that's not every one of us. And there's so many who I point to and say are amazing, but it astounded me and broke my heart every time that happened. Mm-hmm. And on the flip of it, when you're so being fearless can mean don't just assume one thing. In my career, there are probably 5 Caucasian men that I can point to and say, I'm the reason I'm here. And many times we would walk in the room in the reverse, right? I would walk in the room, see a black woman and say, boom, that's who's going to be my ally. Mm-hmm. And at the end, if I was fearful of making a connection with someone so unlike me, a Caucasian man, I wouldn't be where I am right now. So really being fearless, being able to say, now don't be stupid, because there are crazy people out there. But being fearless and saying, I'm not going to close myself off. I am going to be open because my village and my community is unique to me. And I don't know what it is yet. God hasn't shown me my entire path. My job is to be open to it when he does.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah. I see that fearlessness in you, and even now I'm sitting here and I'm like, I really should let people know exactly, from my perspective, Marissa, like what you were to me, because I talked to the Great Girlfriends about last year, and last year being a really, really, really tough year for me, celebrating HFR's 10th anniversary, being in debt after the event because it rained and I didn't know it was going to rain. I had to buy tents, and really being at a place where I was open to whatever was next, but I wasn't tied to doing the same thing that I had done in the same way that I had done it. Mm-hmm. And so while I was in this place of openness and not really knowing what was next, I actually got an email from Marissa. And so Marissa, a lot of you guys have seen like the partnership with Nike and LeBron James. And that came about because Marissa saw something in me and sent me an email saying, hey, I have this opportunity for you. And there was never anything connected to it. It was literally, Brandis, I have this opportunity for you. Here is what it is. But throughout the entire process, I kept thinking, this woman is freaking amazing, like in every way imaginable. And there were so many things, Marissa, that I feel like were just done on a handshake and our word. Mm-hmm. And that again is so rare to find. You have blessed not only my life, but the designers' lives, and not only theirs, but Elena and so many others, like the photographers. Like there were so many people who got blessings from you opening that one door. And I don't know if you even understand all of the people who you've impacted. Mm-hmm.
I do, and I would volley the ball right over that net. And it's funny, I said this to Elena too. I would volley the ball. I say thank you and I accept it and I love you. But I too was just, and still am, sometimes it's just not easy. And I could have made that call, brought you in, and you could have failed monstrously. Mm-hmm. And not just, well, I tried, and that's not failure, frankly. I don't consider that failure because you tried and you gave it your best effort. I'm talking about the many times you open a door for someone and they walk through and then do nothing. And then you're left holding the door, the bag, and everything else because you tried and someone else didn't. Yeah. You put effort and that person didn't. And when I tell you, and Sybil knows, and your listeners know, you and that team, and Elaine, every single person, I mean, never before and never again, I don't know, that I connected there just showed up and showed out. and how the halo that gives to me, whether it's in anyone else's eyes, but within my heart and soul, that I know I did right and I picked right, I can go to sleep at night. So I thank you.
Wow. What gives you, though, because I know there's been times where you have opened doors, what gives you, I guess, the courage to keep opening doors? Because that's not easy when you get burned and you open a door. Like when you open a door and you get burned and you're like, I set you up. All you had to do was
go get in there.
And show up. You know, but a lot of times, I mean, I think I've gotten burned. I think Sybil's gotten burned. Yeah. I know you've gotten burned. And I think what's so extraordinary about you, Marissa, because I'm not there yet, I hesitate now. And I think for you, I just see you continue to do it. So Sybil had asked you to give that toolkit, and you said fearlessness was one. What would be like two more that you think?
I think... Well, I want to answer a little of the question. I don't know if this is part of the toolkit, but it's embracing the high. So why do I keep doing it? Because of the high. So it's not drugs, and it's not wine, and it's not overspending, although you know me and my handbags. But there is a high that you get when life comes full circle and you know you've done the right and good thing, because there's two different things there. You can do the good thing or you could do the right thing, but how often do they meet in the middle and handshake and go, yes, sweet spot. Yeah. And so there's a high for me. It's like when I get on my treadmill and I run every day, it's like a runner's high of how I feel when I know we're doing the right thing and the good thing. So embrace the high, embrace that good feeling. Don't go, oh, I can't feel happy or this can't make me feel good. Embrace that, be fearless, embrace the high that comes with it. Because then even if you get burned, you're still gonna do it again because you want that high. You want that high again. And I guess the last thing I would say is be knowledgeable. So I do research though. I knew exactly what you were capable of. Now, as we just talked about, whether or not you did it, that's on you. But I knew without a shred and shadow of a doubt your capability because I was knowledgeable. I went into it and I knew exactly who you were, what you had done, what you could do, what you were capable of doing. So as long as you are somewhat fearless and open, as long as you embrace that good feeling you could get, that high, and as long as you're smart about it and you do your research and you're knowledgeable, then making the connections, creating a community, making the village work for and around you is exactly what you should do. It's not even a question of how or if, or it's a must. It becomes a must.
Let me tell you, this is why our millennial great girlfriends, y'all better watch these social media platforms. Right? Yes. Because
that research.
Because that's where I started my research.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I go check the gram.
Yeah.
And see if there's anything crazy
look
there.
For character.
Yeah. And look actually absolutely look for character there.
Marissa, so you've laid something so valuable, which is a sense of responsibility to other people. Which I think is such a key attribute that our girlfriends can take away, is feeling a responsibility to other people and knowing the role that you're supposed to play and playing it. Like you understand the gifting that you have, you feel a dedication or a responsibility to the next human, and you play your role. And I believe that we live in a human ecosystem, and the more that each one of us plays our role, understands our gifting, and pays it forward and makes it available to the ecosystem, the more humane we'll be towards one another, the more opportunities we'll invite into our own lives, and we're able to contribute to other people. Have you found that to be true?
Yes. Yeah. And I feel like you're leaning into karma, right? And so I'm a big believer in what you put out comes back. And another kind of phrase I always lean into is, you have to sand with the grain. So my husband and I joke, we live here in LA, and parking is no joke. There's nothing fun about parking in Los Angeles. But there are some times when we go out and we pull up to a location and parking is perfect. And I turn to him and I say, this is exactly where we should be. We're doing what we should be doing. So if you are on the right path and you're doing what you should be doing, and in our heart of hearts, we often know what that path is, then things work out. Things will work out. I mean, not always. Things happen. But if you stay right, if you stay true, if you stay positive and somewhat pure of heart, then things should continue to work out. Doors should open and the path should be there. Now, you all know I'm not, but I do believe if you get on that path and you do what you're supposed to do and you know what that is, then things are going to open up for you. It's when you start, getting shady, acting out, being irresponsible, that's when things start to mess up, because messy attracts messy.
Yes.
You gotta say that again.
Yes.
Messy attracts messy. What are you most proud of right now, Marissa? Outside of the fact that your 97-year-old grandma is sitting beside you and you're taking her to all these fabulous meetings.
Yeah, I am really proud of my career so far. As I said, I kind of joke about it being the only chip in the cookie, but I have persevered and lasted. And there are many, many times where I thought, well, this is it. This is it, either through me or through someone else. And I've gotten through. And while some people look and say, oh, I've changed, I've had 4 different jobs in 5 years. There, for me, for my journey and my sense of self, is a great sense of pride to say, I climbed the ladder and I was extraordinarily successful at one of the biggest companies in the world for almost 3 decades.
Wow.
That's amazing. Yeah.
That is beyond amazing.
What will your legacy be, Marissa?
Well, it's got to be T-Bone the dog, right? I mean, anyone who knows me knows that while I don't have 2-legged children, I have one 4-legged child. So it will be T-Bone and his smiling, toothy grin. I hope that while I, again, don't have children of my own, I have mentored and brought up a significant amount of people in this industry who I think, one young man named his daughter Marissa, and that was a high point.
Wow.
You've met my little sisters who I've worked with for 10, 20, 25 years. And, to think that they still put up with me. I'm not necessarily their boss anymore, but, they call me. I'm a part of their life. They're a part of my life. And we're genuinely family. That they are my legacy. And I hope I've still got a good 10, 15, 20 more years to create even more of that.
I love it.
That's fantastic.
I love it.
So, Marissa, where can our great girlfriends learn more? Well, first of all, I'm sure everybody's like, I want to call from Marissa. I need to make sure Marissa gets my phone number, because that's the call you want. But where can they connect and learn more about the work that you're doing?
Well, they can go to www.nativetonguecommunications.com, nativetonguecommunications.com. They can always reach me at marissa@nativetonguecommunications.com. And I'm on the Facebook, I'm on the Instagram, I'm on the Twitter, as you called me grandma earlier. So I'm going to grandma it for you. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram at Marissa Nance. So
I love it. Love it. Thank you so much, Marissa.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
This was a
gift. All right. So did Grandma have fun is the question. Did you enjoy it, Grandma? She's nodding yes.
Yay! This was so good, Marissa, because we really want to create an environment where we're all like constantly giving at your level.
Well, I want to help with that. So anytime, anyone, I'm here. I'm always willing to take that first call.
I love it. Thank you.
Thank you, Marissa. Thank you so much.
We could not end this podcast without thanking our amazing husbands.
Yes, thank you, Kwaku.
And thank you so much, Rich Daniel.
And our beautiful children, thank you, Sam and Dylan.
And thank you, Miss Sky Daniel.
And thank you to all of you great girlfriends for trusting us as your go-to source for everything life, love, and laughter.
You can check us out on our social, on Instagram,
The Great Girlfriends,
on Twitter,
_Great GFS,
and on Facebook,
The Great Girlfriends.
And please make sure that you join our Facebook group, which is over 16,000 women strong.
Absolutely. And make sure you listen every single Wednesday on iTunes, Spotify, Podcast Bean, Podcast Republic, Google Play, and every other podcasting service.
Absolutely.
Be sure to post your questions, share with your friends. Keep listening and keep being a great girlfriend. I'm Sybil.
And I'm Brandon.
And we're signing off.
Peace.
Peace.